Okay, we're rolling.
And talking through your answers, the program we're listening to here on our very special, dedicated Sydney Fringe broadcast. And joining us in the what is the Spoken Grind Cafe in Marrickville on the very comfy, black and white spotted lounge is Jeanette Landstedt. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine.
It's great to have you here to tell us about your work, and it's beautiful. It's very dreamscape, and you yourself have described it to be visual poetry work as an amalgam between observations of the natural world and the technologically enhanced pictures seen through telescopes and satellites. And this is from in response to a residency at the Sydney Observatory.
Well, that's right, yes. I've always been interested in things of space, and I just recently got this residency at the observatory, and I'm specializing now in blending experiences at the observatory into my art. And yes, this is something I've been doing since childhood, really. I started out as a kid in Sweden when I was up in north of Sweden, close to the polar circle, where I saw my first aurora borealis, and that just triggered, I suppose, an interest in space and the life around us, really. So it's a continuum from childhood, really.
Well, it's a lifetime of experience in itself.
Absolutely.
There is a very dream quality, so it's almost like you've included some other aspects, maybe perhaps from the subconscious, into the work.
That's very, very possible. I haven't really looked at that myself, but yes, there is dreams. When I compose my images, I do tend to think a lot before I do the image itself. I don't do a lot of preparatory sketches, etc. I go more or less straight onto the canvas, but that I can do that because I have thought a lot about the image I'm going to make. And yes, often I do wake up, after I wake up in the morning, I have my best time painting or photographing or whatever I do in order to make these images. They are mixed media images, so on canvas. So I mix a lot of paint with, sometimes with photographs, sometimes with prints. I create images on the computer and incorporate that into my paintings.
I'm speaking to Jeanette Landstedt, and she's talking about the particular works that are featured as part of the Sydney Fringe 2012 at the Italian Forum in Leichardt. One of the aspects I'm thinking to myself is time. There seems to be an element of time, as in the time that we are in the present time. Is that something that you try to...
Oh yes, absolutely. I try to look at the environment and life around us, and time comes into that, of course, and so technology, of course, is part of the time that we use. A lot of technology in our lives. Mapping, for example, is another thing that is big in my work at the moment. And the obsessive mapping we have in our society, we can't go anywhere without seeing a map. And I must admit, I love maps myself. When I travelled, I've travelled quite a bit, coming to Australia and during my life basically. Lived in America for a couple of times and travelled all around Europe, and I was a backpacker when I came to Australia. And part of these images has the backpacker in it, and I think I see the backpacker as a contemporary nomad, really. And so my works are on many different levels, and also the aspect of environment. I have incorporated that in the turtle. I have turtle images in these particular works, and the turtle is like the backpacker and the turtle has a bit of a similarity in the sense that both are carrying their home on their back. So there's an amalgam there as well. So the images work on several levels.
Jeanette, I've got to ask you, after you telling us about the mapping and the geography of things, do you feel that there is a destination, a destiny with your work?
I would like to think so, yes. I'm not quite sure what it is yet. I'm still traveling.
That's a beautiful way of putting it. Jeanette is currently exhibiting as part of Sydney Fringe 2012 at the Italian Forum. These works that she's talking about are in direct response to the residency at the Sydney's Observatory and the City Sky Watches. Tell us a little bit about the City Sky Watches and how the residency is sort of really affecting the work that you're currently doing.
The City Sky Watches is a group that has been existing for I think 150 years now. One of the oldest groups in Australia, and they've always been based up at Sydney Observatory. Really friendly group, and they have great talks once a month. People come in and talk about various aspects about the sky, and one of the biggest events I've been part of so far at the observatory was the transit of Venus, and I made a whole series of pastels for that event, and where I was sitting in the South Dome where the oldest telescope is, and I had some of my drawings, pastel drawings, on the walls surrounding me. And so as people was walking up to have a look at the telescope and actually having a look at the transit of Venus as it was happening, they could also have a look at some of these drawings that was made. Some had a historic context, and some of them I was making on the spot as the transit was happening. So these are the kind of events that I'm looking at the observatory at the moment. So I'm incorporating what's happening there into my work, but also with life around us, as I said, with the mapping, with the backpacker, and the environmental symbol or totemic symbol, you could say, even, of the turtle. So I'm having a lot of fun. I do a lot of reading and research for these images. So yes, it's fabulous. It's a great time.
Jeanette Landstedt, it's been a pleasure having you here and talking through your arts.
Oh, thank you for asking me.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Show me.
Oh, thank you.
Looking forward to seeing all of these works.
You coming on the thing?
I'm going to. Yeah, what? I'm definitely going to.
14th. Have you got the invitation?
Yes, so, up next.
I hope that made sense.
David. Hi. I just completely watched you.
Good stuff, Ange.
A chair is still a chair.